Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's up? What's up? What's up? Is we live? What are we doing? Is we live? Technical difficulties. See, this is why you have a producer to
True
do
that.
all this. There we go.
Bing. There you go.
All right, man. What up? What up, y'all? It's your boy, the Destin Legend, Leon Rogers. My man, Scoop Jackson in the building, and the point guard, Stephen Bardo. What's happening, my black peoples?
What's going on, fellas? How y'all
What's up,
doing?
black man? What's
Ain't
happening? What's
nothing,
going on,
man.
fellas?
Ain't nothing, man. Ain't nothing, man. Let's get right into it, man. Great week in sports. A lot of BS going on in sports too. I'm so happy that a lot of this stuff fell on this Tuesday. We're gonna revisit some old things. We're gonna talk about some new things. First of all, we're gonna talk about the pro college border crisis. Now, if you
Man.
haven't heard, two players are set to leave the NFL and go to LSU. Daquan Wright, who's a tight end, he previously played under Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss. He signed with the Cleveland Browns as an undrafted free agent and reached an agreement to join LSU immediately after clearing waivers. And then Xavion Harris, who's a defensive tackle, he also played for Ole Miss. He spent training camp with the New Orleans Saints before being waived and choosing to reunite with Lane Kiffin and Baton Rouge at LSU. So now, do you think this is going to start an influx of guys going to the NFL, maybe not making it where they feel like they should be, or not getting on the roster in the capacity that they feel they should be? And then if they still got a year or some eligibility left, try to go back to college and grab some NIL money, which basically has college football and soon college basketball probably follow, looking like pro sports.
Well, here's what I think, fellas. When you look at this scenario, I want player movement, freedom movement, right? Have the opportunity to go where you can go where you're highest valued. But the Big Ten just passed a rule, didn't they? That said once you enter the process and you don't appropriately remove yourself, then you're not eligible to come back and play. And I believe the SEC followed suit, didn't they?
So what would be considered entering the process? Like, what if you go into the draft, but you don't take an agent? Because I don't think either one of these guys signed with any agency.
But did they sign?
Go ahead, Scoop.
Now, I was gonna say, did they sign with a team? And they haven't made the rosters of the teams that they were trying to make yet, from my understanding. So when do you, if you have not made a roster, even if you've been drafted, even if you do have an agent, but you have not been assigned to a team, if you have not made a team, if you're technically not in the NFL, how does that make you? What's your status if you still have college eligibility left and you're not at one time an employee of the NFL?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah, that's that gray area, and I think that's what they're gonna have to. They're gonna have to work out the language as far as entry. And Steve made a great point about it. I think the Big Ten has a set of rules that they're operating by, and the SEC wants to follow this, which is of course going to lead them to following the Lane Kiffin, since he has to be at the center of all of this. But they're gonna have to get their language together to like at least put something more stringent inside the loophole that it seems that these players are exercising within.
But
go ahead.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think? I personally don't believe these young players are smart enough to think that far. I'm thinking somebody's in their ear.
That's fine. Somebody's got to be in there, but they don't have to hire them.
It's no coincidence that the two players are coming that used to play for Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss, and now they're following them to LSU.
That's what I'm saying. Is Lane Kiffin's at the center of this? Exactly.
Well,
so somebody's in the air, but does it get down to the technicality of have they hired somebody? I think, and if you want to, you can just keep somebody off the books to give you advice on what to do. I don't think, they're going to be able to set a rule that presidents that to make them ineligible to come back to college if they have eligibility. I just think there has to be some language set inside of the NCAA within their bylaws that even if you have eligibility left, once you, and I'll just use this esoterically, once you collect the check from the NFL, you withdraw your right for eligibility to come back and play college football.
So does it? But then the breakdown will become: is it any check in the NFL, or if you make the roster check? You see what I'm saying? Like, because if it's just I'm in training camp, you know what I'm saying? I'm not really a member of the team yet. I could still be cut or whatever. Or is it when I get that full-time NFL check?
Yeah, they have to deal with that type of language. Something I think has to be set in stone for them to operate by. But if that language is not in anything right now, then it's kind of like that. It's almost like, to me, they didn't finish writing out the contracts of how NIL was going to look once they implied it. And that's why it became the Wild Wild West. Because the language was so ambiguous. And I'm thinking we're dealing with the same thing here, where somebody may be in these players' ears, and it could be Lane Kiffin. We don't know. He's at the center of this, like, look, y'all got eligibility. There's nothing stopping you all from coming back. And if y'all want to come back, we can build a squad here and do this. So I don't know where it's coming from, but I do know as a governing body, the NCAA should look and establish some language where that loophole cannot be taken advantage of the way it seems to be taken advantage of right now.
But they can't, Scoop, because whenever they do put legislation forth, they get sued. And so that they're sitting back waiting for Congress, when Congress got a whole lot of other things to be worried about than college athletics. You know what I'm saying? But the Big Ten and SEC want to use this opportunity to strong arm the rest of college sports, and hopefully Congress can, expedite this situation, because they can't legislate themselves.
No, they can't.
They keep waiting for Congress to do stuff. They could have put stuff in their in provisions or whatnot a long time ago. But here we are.
They have the Protect Sports Rights Act that the Senate just knocked down again. So whenever they go to court, because NCAA is really worried about these antitrust laws that can hit them from everywhere. That's what it boils down to. And what I'm saying, Steve, is that they are waiting for Congress. Hell, they may even take this to the Supreme Court to try to get language together. But in the meantime, what I know the Senate has done is whatever the NCAA has put in front of them, they've struck down for whatever reasons. Now, NCAA is a governing body as a whole, but as you said, individual conferences can act within their own accord once you don't have any law put in place. So I'm not saying that it can't be done. And I understand they're waiting on Congress, but they still have to put something in place to fill this loophole, because it's very similar to what we talked about the WNBA. You need to get some language in here to stop this from getting out of control.
Because the floodgates is coming.
I see this that's guys, right.
There are guys. I mean, think about it. Even if you go look at the situations like Carson Beck, who milked 5-6 years out of college, making money while he was there. There are guys sitting there right now thinking, how can I get an extra 2 to 3 years out of here? Or let me go stick my feet in the NFL water, see how deep it is. If I'm selected to swim, I'm going to go ahead and stay. If it look like I'm going to drown out here, I'm going to run back and get another year of college eligibility and some more money. I mean, I don't think the O'Bannons thought it was going to come this far when Ed O'Bannon and them was like, you can't use our likenesses and images on these video games. No one I thought would think it would get to this far, but I think it's going to become a big problem. Like Scoop said, if they don't come up with some type of terminology in the whatever you want to call it agreement, it's going to open floodgates on all levels of sports, not just football, basketball. We might see even women's sports. Like, you know what I'm saying? You might see young ladies making a jump to the WNBA. Hey, I ain't do good here. I don't want to go overseas. Let me go back to Connecticut or wherever I'm playing ball at.
Yeah, and if there's, Steve, if anything that I think, and this is what I think the NCAAs have been fighting for, to your point, I think if they could find a way to convince the government, I don't want to say either Congress or Senate, whatever. If they can find a way, even the court system, if they can get the Supreme Court to give them an antitrust exemption, similar to what Major League Baseball and the NFL have, that would change anything. But that refused to trickle down to the NCAA because they don't look at them the same way and give them the same rights that they've given, the MLB and the NFL in this situation. But if technically, if the NCAA can get an antitrust exemption, then we're not having this conversation.
There it is. All right, man. New topic on debate, college GOAT debate. Vince Young versus Cam Newton. Now, the reason why I wanted to talk about this, I watched the Vince Young documentary Untold. It was on Netflix. It premiered today, and I was sitting there watching it. And I was watching it, and for me, and this is why I want to have the debate, and all our listeners that are watching, all the people that are watching, feel free to chime in the comment section. I kind of feel like Vince Young gets lauded for one play in one game. And I would argue that Cam Newton, even though he only played at Auburn for 1 year and in Florida he didn't get any one, but he's got 2 NCAA championship rings. He's got a Heisman. And he also has a junior college championship. Now, I mean, it's not Division I, but college is junior college football. He won a championship there. I mean, I would say that his college career was just as good as Vince Young, maybe even better. But Big Med, our producer, says no way. That game that Vince Young did showed a lot to the world. Okay, well, if we're going to do that one, I want to add another name into the mix. Can I do that, gentlemen?
Sure.
It's your show.
Tommy Frazier.
Who?
Tommy Frazier of Nebraska.
Oh, Nebraska.
I remember. Yeah, I remember.
Had one of the greatest runs in college football, won a national championship, and I also think he took home the Heisman hardware from Nebraska as well. So I think the Vince Young lore is one game. I'm not saying that he wasn't good, but it's one game. When you go look at his career stats, his quarterback passing rating was terrible. It was under 50%. He threw more interceptions than touchdowns. Now, he killed.
It was 30-2 as a starter.
He killed on the rushing side.
He was 30-2 as a starter. Let's keep that in mind.
All right.
Now keep going.
Was the Big 12 super popping back then like the SEC?
Oh, I don't think so.
Okay.
No.
So I mean, I could jab back and say, yeah, you beating up on the Texas Tech Red Raiders and Oklahoma State. Your biggest competition was probably Oklahoma.
I mean,
I ain't saying he didn't get down, but I really think a lot of the lore of Vince Young comes off the one game where he snapped the dynasty of USC. And you can't take that away from him. He showed his ass that game. What was that, the Cotton Bowl or the Rose Bowl?
That was the Rose Bowl.
That's the Rose Bowl.
Crazy. And you basically beat USC at home.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's to me, as I said earlier,
That's the
I'm
difference.
leaning on your side, but I get where people get caught up in the majesty of that game because that game, even as it happened, it became an instant classic. You know, people say it was one of the greatest college football national championships they've ever seen. And when you have that moment, sometimes that's all it takes. It's like we argue that a game shouldn't come down to one shot. Sometimes games do. Yeah. Right. And that's all in this particular situation. Everything seems to be even. Some people say this, but he has that one moment that kind of edges everybody to go that way. And I'm with you. I would lean on the side of, because we're talking about their entire college career. And so I'm taking Cam's junior college career into consideration because we're looking at his whole career. Now, I would say neither one of them was good, Steve McNair, but that's a whole nother conversation.
But did Steve McNair?
No, he played it all. I'm just talking about like how great he was as a quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Right. So what I'm saying is that it comes down to these certain nuances, and this particular nuance that he has on his side tips the scale for most people. It's hard to argue either way. Leon, I'm with you. My choice is Cam, but I'm not going to argue with anybody who picks Vince, especially when they throw that game in there. It's like, you got to get it. You got to respect it.
And his rushing yards, like over 2,000-3,000 yards rushing in his career at Texas. I mean, I'm like you, Scoop. I'm not mad at it. But at the same time, I look at the caliber of competition. Cam was in the SEC. Cam came 1 year removed from being at Florida because they gave the job to Tebow, and he was like, I bet. Went across the street or down the road or wherever you want to call it, and made Auburn relevant immediately. And won
Well,
a chip.
30 touchdowns and 20 rushing touchdowns in one season. That's incredible. That's Cam.
insane. That's what
So,
I'm saying.
yeah,
And
that
so
was
man
incredible.
said, I said, well, man, he was like, well, he was going against Cam because Cam only did it 1 year at Auburn. I said, but if we average out, let's just say we just took the lowest average from Cam's season and averaged it out over 3 years. Like his numbers would be the same as Vince. Only difference would be the rushing. Vince ran the ball, but Vince wasn't a thrower of the ball. I think Cam was a better thrower of the ball. And I mean, we can start going into nuances like how you brought up Steve McNair. I mean, Michael Vick, his impact on what he did at Virginia Tech. One of my favorites of all time, Major Harris, that was at
West Virginia.
was insane. When
Man,
he was
insane.
there. Charlie Ward at Florida State. I mean, we could go
Yeah.
Tim Tebow. You could throw Tim Tebow in there. I mean, I ain't finna front on Tim Tebow.
No,
Hell,
you shouldn't.
Even Andrew Luck in Stanford was a dog. Like, so there's different people we could do for different things. But just for me, the effect in 1 year that Cam Newton had, I think is right there with Vince's 3 tumultuous years at Texas. But
Three tumultuous.
It was.
He used the word tumultuous.
Yeah, he was finna quit. I mean, you got to watch the documentary, then you'll see where I'm coming from. I didn't know all that was going on at Texas.
We never do.
I didn't know he had threatened to quit, took his pads off, walked off the field. Like,
But don't get me started. Don't get me started. He got diva stuff that I've never seen in any athlete. Look, y'all know I've been doing this for a long time. I will say this with all certainty. He is not only at the top of the list of the most arrogant athletes I've ever witnessed him, and this including Michael Jordan.
damn.
Vince Young arrogance is Trump would bow down to him when it comes to arrogance and narcissism.
Jesus.
I'm telling you, the fact I'm even talking about him, y'all lucky, because he's on that, like, no, he on my, I can't mess with dude. His arrogance is unbelievable. I'm not even gonna get to the stories that I
Who you
have.
talking about? Scoop, let's make sure we know who you talking about. Who you talking about again?
Vince Young.
Is he the Kevin Durant? Was he the Kevin Durant of college
Ain't
football?
even close, brother. Ain't even close. Look, I'll put it.
Who's coming with that fire, son?
No, I'll leave it like this, and y'all understand we can move on. We're at the Super Bowl in Detroit right after he won the game, right? Myself, Rip Hamilton, Rasheed Wallace, me, myself, Rip Hamilton, Rasheed Wallace are standing at the top of the escalator at the Super Bowl before the game starts. Vince Young comes up the escalator. He has his coat on like James Brown, like it's a cape. He comes up the escalator, and Rip is like, "Oh shit! There goes Vince Young." So we stand there. He gets to the top of the elevator, sees us, sticks out his hand like this.
Like royalty.
We're in Detroit once again with Rasheed Wallace and Rip Hamilton. They run Detroit. They pissed. He stuck his hand out there like for them to kiss it. Never looked us in our face and just kept on walking. Man, I'm like, hey, y'all know Rasheed Wallace. I can't even say, we don't even have FCC regulations on this show. I can't even tell you what Rasheed Wallace said in that moment. Like, whole movie can't even come up with these type of words. And that's just one incident. I'm telling you, I've never seen anything like this dude. And I got more, trust me.
All right, man. Vince, if you get a chance to watch the documentary, it is very good. Untold does a good job about telling the stories. That one was a good one. Also, the one about Gino Auriemma in Connecticut is a good one as well, too.
Okay, did they get that last? What happened the last?
No.
Yeah,
no,
I ain't think so. I ain't think so.
That conveniently got left out, man.
Yeah, how convenient is that?
They back. They are back. Yes, they are. The wonderful ladies of the WNBA are back, and I can't wait to talk about this. Enes Kanter raised his ugly head at a Chicago Sky game, and they were taking on of course, it would be against the Indiana team, the Indiana Fever. Natasha Cloud, she came down, hit a layup, got an and-one, and started fussing, started shouting at Enes Kanter on the sidelines, who stood up wearing a shirt that said "woman, now a female human being," or whatever. And Natasha Cloud cussed him out and basically told him, for lack of a better word, she's not going to sleep with you, bro. And to her, she was talking about was Sophie Cunningham, who Enes Kanter and Royce took up the mantle of supporting her opinions on trans athletes in the WNBA. It was a wild scene. Enes Kanter ended up being escorted out. Now, the way they reported it at first, they made it seem like Enes Kanter walked out on the court and made a big scene, which he didn't. And honestly, he did sit there. She came and said something to him. Then he stood up, and then they escorted him out. But gentlemen, we talked about it. We talked about shit spiraling out of control. Is the WNBA losing its grip? Now, mind you, in hindsight, they have not banned Enes Kanter from any other games.
The Sky have.
The Sky did? Well,
Yeah, they just did.
The rest of the WNBA was like, we ain't tripping. But the Sky has banned them. So is this spiraling out of control? And something that really hasn't even been talked about is now something that's at the forefront of the WNBA, and we're not focused on the games.
I think it's all planned.
Think
about
it. On that, brother.
Think about it.
Yeah, Steve, when you say all, what do you can you define all?
So, not all, but this part with Royce White and Enes Kanter, these guys have political aspirations. They're trying to get as much attention as they possibly can.
Right.
And this is a hot area of contention. It was an easy door for them to step into. You all just talked about their support of Sophie Cunningham. It's the hot wave there, and the WNBA. Kathy Engelhart, is that her name? Engelberg is playing, dumb like a fox. They stay in the media right now, and it's because look, we talked about this last week. All you have to do is watch a game in the WNBA. You can see it's quality basketball. They just have to get people to watch the product. Once you watch the product, you'll enjoy the product. So to me, I think.
But way, I don't think. Listen,
I think it's planned, bro. But go ahead.
You think this way, this particular subject? I'm gonna be honest with you, dog. Like for me, this political shit makes me not even want to watch the WNBA. If you told me that the New York Liberty, Aja Wilson, stole on a chick from another team, the Seattle Storm, and a brawl ensued with the ladies, I'm gonna be like, shit, let me check the WNBA out. They fighting. I would tune in for that before I would tune in for somebody getting kicked out, or the goofballs that throw the dildos out on the court. Like that's all crazy to me. Like that to me is not. But I'm just saying, like, if they start, like when they was having the physical play, when we was talking about the fouls and stuff, I was like, hey, let me tune in, man. They turned up. They more physical than the NBA. But this right here does not make me want to watch it. It actually makes me want to cut it off. And like when y'all get that together, I'll be back.
Go ahead, Scoop.
No, I'm thinking it's kind of gotten out of control, and I'm keep thinking of what your ideology is, Steve, which I think is correct. You said it last week, where you said attention is the new currency.
Currency, yeah.
And I think that's part of the functionality we have going on here, and I think that might have been the intent. But I think, like a lot of other things, sometimes a well-structured plan can get away from people, and I think this has gotten away from the WNBA, and they haven't found a way to reel it back in. Now, keep this in mind. It's interesting to me, because I didn't know that the Sky had banned Enes Kanter. What's funny to me is he was personally invited by the general manager, who sat him and gave him the seats that he gave him, knowing that, like you said, this is intentional. Yeah. The general manager of the Sky, Jeff, knew. He had to know, especially the way Enes Kanter's been acting. that this was his intent. Now, Jeff and Enos have a relationship past this. They, I think Jeff used to be his trainer or something like that. So they're cool. They're friends. But when do you put your business or your position in front of a friendship and say, hey, Enos, I'll let you come to the game, but I'm not going to sit you on the floor.
Right.
Or I'll let you in here, but you can't come in with, I'm not taking this bullshit right now. But the general manager from the Sky allowed this to happen. And now you're saying that the Sky is banning him? That's interesting to me.
Well, this is one of the things we're talking about the Chicago Sky organization and how they run shit.
What did I tell you a couple weeks ago? I said it's not the coach, it's the organization. I'm telling you.
You did.
I'm telling you.
You did. But I also would say this too. I'm confused. Okay, as I do sit and look at it, I'm confused. Why are you mad at Enos Kanter? He's literally saying, woman, this who should be playing in your league, not somebody who says they identify as a woman. So what was Shorty so mad about if that was the case? Because I'm pretty sure if you did an anonymous poll on the WNBA players, the majority of them would say they would not be comfortable playing against men who are transitioning into women. So what were they mad? What were you? I would really want to know, what was she mad about?
I think because they view Enos as making a mockery of the WNBA. And, Natasha Cloud she's a competitor. Yeah. She's a veteran. She's probably had to fight for some things for the group as a whole. And they feel attacked. And I went back and watched the video as we're talking about it. I do say this, Enos Kanter was sitting down.
Yeah.
She came towards him.
Yapping. She did.
He did not initiate the whole dust up.
After she scored the bucket, she went straight towards
him. And so he stood up. Now, when he stood up, he started walking towards the court.
Right.
But it was an unusual situation.
It was weird as shit.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean. Like, that wasn't good TV. It was weird as hell. It was awkward. But again, my thing is, even when you say Natasha Cloud is a competitor, she's had to fight for something, but it's not like he's. And Enos Kanter is a clown. Don't get it twisted. Him and Royce are a clown for what they're doing. Yeah. But it goes back to my statement when I said, "Hey, this is what the fuck you get. You're gonna get a clown show with this stuff instead of coming out and saying, as a league, hey, we don't want that. We don't want to be involved." But if you want to be all inclusive, now you're going to get people that's coming on that angle and that's doing all that. So it's kind of like, why are you mad at him? He's actually fighting for your league to stay safe from that, but you just don't like the way he's going about it. And I get it, but that's going to happen.
I think the response to him is more about what he symbolizes. And if we go back and watch exactly what happened, I thought what she said to him was classic.
It was funny. She ain't gonna fuck you, bro.
Right. Like, anyway, so let's get to it. After she scored the basket, she saw him and like, yo, she ain't gonna sleep with you, bro. Classic line. So after she said that to him, he didn't have to stand up. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's all good. He could have said something back, but once you stand up, it's like the earrings come out. Like, let's go.
No,
she didn't say anything that warranted him like standing up, like, because that was funny as shit. Like,
that was hilarious.
That was hilarious. Like, I'm like, all right, and of course, and I'm a Natasha fan, but at the same time, if she really wanted to have a conversation with him, she could have structured something after the game. Yep. But there's some grandstanding on her end, the same way LeBron James
did
like
on Stephen A.
against Stephen A. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could have pulled it if you really want to have a real conversation. You should have like let him go talk to the guy who invited him there, who is the general manager of the team you play for, and say, "I'd love to talk to him after the game."
Right.
You could have done it that way, but in the heat of the moment, that line is classic. But he shouldn't have. To me, I'm not saying she's totally innocent,
Right.
But you ain't got to stand up on that, man. Because once you stand up, everything changes. Y'all know that.
What if Enos had to say it back? She will when I'm in the league next year.
Hey, then all you gotta do is laugh and be like, good one. You gotta laugh and say good one.
When I'm
That's
in the
it.
league next year.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Wait till
Hey,
next
man.
year. He could have fired back with something.
Yeah.
But you all know. You all know code. Y'all know code. When somebody stand up, all right, things change.
It's up. Yeah,
it's up. So, like I said, she's not innocent. And for what we understand, we know what she said to him. And if that caused him to stand up,
so be it.
yeah.
Hey, so also coming out of the WNBA, Los Angeles Sparks forward Daricia Hamby shared a screenshot of a racist text message she received on August 24th containing abusive language. Now, what the abusive language was, she was called a dirty N-I-G-G-E-R, hard R. She posted that image on social media from an unknown member that used severe racial slurs and derogatory comments. Social media users and online sleuths reverse searched the phone number and identified the person responsible as an employee of Arcalo Medical. Now, Arcalo Medical publicly condemned the hate speech and suspended the employee pending an investigation. Now, other athletes like Las Vegas Aces guard Chelsea Gray have similarly exposed racist messages sent to them by individuals who are subsequently fired or disciplined by their employers. Gentlemen, I want to say to you, what do you think about this? And also, I want to say something to the idiots that think they can hide behind the veil of anonymity on the internet. Dog, the internet police do not play.
Don't play at all.
When these mods get on your ass,
they get on it.
I don't care how many IP addresses you think you can hide behind. Like, for me, I just watch the dudes that be breaking up the scammer things in India. When they make a video of them calling the scammer dudes and like, I know your whole location and everything. Or I watch a video of this boxer pulled up on this dude who was talking about his dead mom. He found out where he lived, pulled up on this door and said, man, I should beat your ass, but I'm not. But I'm just letting you know you could be touched. Why do these people think that they can just go and say anything to people? And now people, the same way you got the means to put it out on the internet, people have the means to find you. What gives them that sense of comfort?
Arrogance and privilege in this particular case. And a reason I was pulling my finger while you were talking, I didn't want to interrupt you, Leon.
No,
I think the important context we need to also include in this is that not only the language that he used, but he did put the monkey image.
Yes.
On, so that's important.
He couldn't lie. He couldn't back out of it and say it was,
right. No. The monkey emoji was right next to his actual text that he sent out there. And with the way she played it, the way Darka played it, it was like, all right, who knows this dude?
Right.
And it's like, I say it's privilege and arrogance because, sometimes there are people who don't believe that there's a such thing as black anything. And in this particular case, even though they changed the name, this was Black Twitter at its best. A lot of white folks don't think that Black Twitter is a thing. They don't think that we have formed our own society, our own community. Within their space, within their quote unquote control space. And what you just saw right there was the WNBA social media version of a fucking launch here. And y'all know exactly what I'm talking about.
Alabama.
Right, exactly.
Might throw the head up in there.
Right. So white boy found out the hard way, which is fine, which is what we're here for. And this is what we do. So the police were on him. He got exposed, but I'm tired of the conversation being about him losing his job.
Right.
Damn a job. When it comes to jobs and white people, they like cats. You could throw them on the air, they always gonna land on their feet. So a job don't mean shit to them. No. So we need to have something more happen in this situation. Because once again,
what would you?
It's the N-word and the monkey. It's the N-word and the monkey.
But when you say they put the emoji with it, and I'm literally asking the question, playing devil's advocate, how does that accelerate it more than the word nigga? Like, it doesn't. To me, that right there alone, but at the same time, should that be made a crime? It should using that word be made a crime. I guess let's get down to the nuts and bolts of it because it's just a word. But should that word be made, using that word against somebody, a crime? I'll
let Steve answer that.
Well, if you consider the word, whatever. If you consider that word and its origin and its history, the use of it would have to imply a hate crime. No,
if you say it during a crime, it would change the difference of the crime into a hate crime. Exactly.
But we get to the balance is posting that on social media a hate crime.
Well, that's a good question because language.
Because I'm not okay with it. I'm not okay with it. But
when does language become a crime when a physical act is not connected to it? So
exactly.
Now we're dealing with something different. I'm just saying a job isn't enough. I didn't say he needs to be thrown in jail or anything like that. I just say taking a job doesn't do anything to a large percentage of the people in this country.
But what else can you do?
There is nothing you can do.
What else can you do other than from being gainfully employed?
Yeah, I don't know.
Can't find them. What do you find them for? That's free speech. I mean,
I get it.
It's free speech, but it's just.
Well, you know what? Maybe.
No, it's the fact that they're outed, which is good. Now we got another one on. We exposed another enemy. That's how I
come up with a list. How about come up with a list of people who've done that and post it where people can go see it? Like, you know how everything's on public record. Say like if you go through a divorce and you go look in the paper, it'll show your divorce.
Yeah, without question.
These are people who love using these words and show us. So like a LinkedIn for racists. Just have them all listed up there where they can't get work. Like people could go look and see like this guy's an ass.
Yep.
I got it. Let's do this then. Yeah, what can we do? Let's do this. Like I say, if his place of employment let him go, and I said it's always easy for a certain population, a certain hue of people, or lack of hue, to find to find employment, then let's make sure that every place that employs him after that gets the target treatment.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And make the employer say he's not worth us dealing with this.
Well, see, now you shift the onus, and I'ma just be honest. You shift the onus on people who don't always follow through with that shit. You know how many times we say we're supposed to have Black Tuesday or Black Friday when we ain't supposed to shop here? And I done had homies tell me to my face, shit, I'm finna go down here and get this Gucci for 30%. Yep. So it's like,
that's true.
It's a catch-22. Like, I kind of feel like we have to move like how other races move. Like, when them Chinese people was getting jumped and beat up out here for that little span, man, they did not play no games. They went and got a law passed immediately.
Yeah.
They didn't play no games with y'all. They was like, okay, ain't gonna be. We all don't know karate, so we going to get this law passed.
I got you.
Did. Now it's a super crime. You going to jail. You do something, say something to one of those people. So I kind of feel until we start really enacting on like what you said. Hey, he gets hired there. Just have a monitor wherever he pop up at.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep. It got to start somewhere. My thing is it got to start somewhere. So why don't we start there? We saw how effective and how we got together just on this start of it. So let's see if something else that we can follow through. You know.
All right, man. Let's keep it moving. Let's head on to the next topic. I like this one right here. Steve, I know you're gonna have fun with this one right here, man. Gotta give a big shout out to my dog. My dog, man. CEO and principal owner of the San Francisco 49ers, Jed York. He got arrested on Sunday. And look where he was at. East Palatine, Ohio. Where the hell is that? During an undercover prostitution sting. He responded to a fake online ad posted by the Mahoning Valley Human Trafficking Task Force and arranged to meet an undercover officer at the Wheat Hill mobile home community to pay for sexual services. $160. Got booked on misdemeanor counts of engaging in prostitution and possession of criminal tools, which was his cell phone where he made the call. Here go my thing. You are a millionaire, probably close to a billionaire if you own a football team. Why is you trying to buy some $160 coochie from a mobile home? That must have been fire. He must have had some mobile home coochie before and said, look here, They got it, and I'm gonna find the most desolate, craziest place in the world, Palestine, Ohio. So he said, I'm gonna go to Palestine, Ohio. That's a long way from San Francisco.
Yes,
You
it is.
can't tell me you couldn't have dipped in the Silicon Valley and gave up about $1,500 and grabbed you a porn star that worked right there.
Well, I think inflation has hit California too. So
he got that paper, man. Trailer home coochie. Come on, man.
hey, man, look, Leon. Everybody's got their kink. Well, you can't just imagine. You know, these folks are different, bro. They got their own kink.
Okay? I'm gonna give you that. I get it. When we see Diddy and all of them, yeah, everybody do got their kink. But pay somebody to go get the trailer park chick for you. Don't you go out there. Don't you get out your limo walking through the trailer park.
But see, that's what I'm saying, bro. You gotta. Cats are different, bro. They like to, you know what I mean?
Man, listen, man. I laughed so hard when I read that story. I said, at least my man from the Patriots, he like, hey, I was getting a massage. I don't know what y'all talking. Remember, yeah. He got, hey man, I go to this massage parlor all the time. Just one day, you know, y'all happened to walk in here while she was touching. Hey, I was getting a massage. My man literally referred to an ad on like Backpage or something for $160 piece of coochie. I wonder how long was that for? Like, was that an hour, half hour, backseat experience? What?
And listen, that wasn't the first time he did that.
I get it, but you're the owner of even
okay.
Look, and I keep hating to go back to Diddy, but at least Diddy was setting up parties in his crib and hiring professionals. Like, hey, this is what you do for a living. Come on through. My man was going to get Daisy Duke from the Dukes of Hazzard.
Okay, Leon, I'm kind of with Steve. I just want to put it in the context of how some individuals roll, regardless of who they are. Right? Go look at the list of women that Tiger got caught with first. Every one of them. Pancake houses, you know what I'm saying? Everyone, and it's Tiger Woods. Any woman you want to get, okay, so let me throw another name out to you. Bill Clinton. Now, I'm not saying anything bad about Monica Lewinsky, but dude, he used to have Ashley Judd come through the White House. You're the president of the free world, and that's who you
did not
choose.
sleep with that woman.
Right, but what I'm saying is, that's who you get caught with. Like, think about the women he could have had. Some dudes they slum.
But
he ain't the only one, Leon. That's all I'm saying.
But I'm gonna keep it real. Tiger Woods was pulling the hoes off game. He was just outside. It was just like how, and I hate to do my man like this because it just happened. My man Joey Badass, his fiance broke up with him because Joey was outside. He wasn't paying $160. I guess what I'm saying is, if I'm the owner of the San Francisco 49ers, if I'm paying you enough for anonymity and safety, and $160 don't really necessarily guarantee that. Not off a Backpage website.
I'm talking about the caliber of what we're dealing with here and what you're going to get for $160. Now, you ain't going to get the same thing in California and San Francisco that you're going to get in Ohio.
That's my point.
Your dollars may go a little bit longer. I get it. But what I'm saying is that you have famous and rich people that have the same mentality when it comes to this. Like Nelly said it best. What's the use in the fame if you ain't fucking a model?
But I guess what I'm
not doing that.
What I guess what I'm saying is there's a difference in Tiger being out at the club having a few drinks, getting his shorty in, getting her back to the room, than the owner of an NFL team sitting on a laptop Googling holes in Palestine, Ohio.
You're looking at the nuances. I'm looking at the whole big picture, Leon.
We look at the big picture. Men are idiots. Okay, let's. A lot of men, rich, poor, idiots. They do crazy shit. I'm saying, for me, there's a difference than a famous comedian after the show, blah, 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 what y'all doing? Then that same famous comedian going back to his room, opening up his laptop and typing in hoes in whatever city he in. And then it's like, ooh, 160. Let me go over here in this city that I'm not from and meet this random woman.
You don't know that he's not from there. You don't know that.
Well, he obviously must have some ties. He knew where to go to.
Right. And
I'm
he
telling
made
you,
me,
man, inflation is rising, bro.
Bro, I could go right now. I could pull up a Chicago escort website where chicks, this is what they do. This is what they do. You ain't got to worry. This is not a fed bust or nothing. This is what they do. And if they get caught, they'll be like, oh, we just went out on a dinner date. But we know what dinner date means.
okay, can I throw a theory out there? Do you think that he did something like this, thinking that this is the least chance he could ever get caught doing something? Like this
No.
is so in the hole that nobody's even gonna know who the hell he is.
I think
Like
Scoop's
escort
right.
sergeant be like, say something. Anybody can say something. He's like, nobody's gonna catch me here.
I
Nobody.
think Scoop's right.
If he did, that was dumb as hell from a street aspect. Okay, maybe people
Dude
don't
ain't
know.
from the streets.
No,
he
listen.
inherited the ownership
Nah,
from
but
his
listen
dad.
what
I
I'm
mean,
saying.
come on now.
This is what I
ain't
mean
got
by
game.
this. He's Jed York. Nobody's gonna know him by face. He's not recognizable by face. But
Right.
still, you moving around out there, you not safe, bro. And the cats that live over there know you ain't from over there. What you own, you ain't safe. He would have done better by booking
Yes.
$1,000 model that already has an NDA in place and been great and never left the comfort of his room.
I
To get
think
out and go to a trailer park. Listen to where he went to a fucking trailer park.
I get it. I'm just thinking.
That
I'm
is
asking.
insane
This
to
what he
me.
have been thinking. Steve, you see where I'm with this.
I get it. I see what you're saying, but that is insane to me. I'm a billionaire walking through a trailer park for some $160 coochie. I'm sorry. I can't wrap my mind around it.
So
Let's
wait a
get this
minute.
right.
What's
I'm
that tell
ready.
y'all? What's that tell y'all about the coochie?
It must have been fire.
Well, it had to be
He
fired,
never got a chance
right?
to get it though.
He
Maybe
walking
he had
through
it.
a trailer
Well, no,
park
he
to go
didn't
get
because
it.
it was fake. Yeah, it was all a
Right. He
setup.
never got a chance to get it, so he don't know.
No,
My
he
thing-
probably had some trailer park coochie before and say, hey.
That's what
I
I'm
had it
saying.
before.
Yeah, right.
That's
That
what
could
I'm
be
saying.
true. That's fine. My thing is that his parents didn't raise him right. His daddy didn't teach him game. You mentioned the name. You mentioned the word game, right, Leon?
Yeah.
Okay. You got to have some game to understand how this goes and works to your back. Dude must have none then.
His
And-
rich ass daddy didn't break it down. Hey, look, son.
No,
if you gonna
no,
go do this,
no,
take
no,
$1,000
no.
and go
Just-
pay Sheila over here at Woo's Chop House Massage.
Right.
Dynasty.
Right. I blame it on his daddy. You got his daddies, his uncles. Somebody need to teach him game because, according to your theory, Leon, there's no game there. He didn't do anything that you should be taught when you're trying to move like that.
I'm just sorry. That shit was so funny to me, man. When I read that story, dog, I said, we got to talk about this, man. Because I hate to see brothers get jammed up, but damn, homie.
Yeah, it's you can reduce it to no game. What's gonna be interesting to me is how long they're gonna play this thing out and what's gonna happen to him from this.
Yeah.
Nothing.
I mean, what?
Right, exactly. Thank you, Steve.
Ain't nothing happened to my man Kraft.
Oh, of course not.
I mean, if he got a wife, he got to deal with her. That's it.
Oh no, he
Like,
has a wife.
he
Jed
gonna
has
get
a
hit-
wife.
He gonna get hit in the pockets with that.
Right.
She might not divorce him, but she gonna have some very extensive vacations and shopping sprees with the Cabana boy. She taking him with him. She said, okay, he can come with me now. I ain't gotta hide it no more.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, man. I would love to see the police arrest video. You know how when people be drunk, how they did Tony Romo and all them and Tiger. I would love to see his arrest video, man. Like on some Chris Hansen shit. Say, hey, how you doing? What are you here for? He got a 6-pack in his hand, some Black and Miles. He gonna get it in, G. That got busted. Hey, man, Cleveland. Staying in Ohio, moving from Palestine and the hoes to Cleveland, who's being holed by Deshaun Watson's contract. This is absolutely insane. I've been watching all the preseasons. Though I'm not a huge fan of Shedeur Sanders, I think he's okay. he should be the starting quarterback this year. But I think we talked about it before that this albatross contract that's around Cleveland's neck, they really have no choice. How much of a leash does Deshaun Watson have before they pull him, before the fans get rowdy? Because the fans probably feel like they have a chance to win a few games with Shedeur at the helm.
I think that the fans are, have shown already in preseason. I guess that's what spurred that comment from Deshaun. So I think they're already kind of impatient. So he may have 2 games, guys. I think because this is a new coach, correct?
Yep.
So he wants to establish himself early and often. So I believe he might have 2 games.
It's a new coach, but neither one of them is his guy. Do you think he'll play out the season just for them to draft another quarterback next year, which would be insane?
Well, how many years does Deshaun have left on that contract?
2.
I think
1 or 2.
No, this one and the next one. I think
next one,
2 total.
Yep.
So if you include this one,
yeah.
I'll say you got one more after this one.
Like $50 million this year and like 55 next year.
Something like that. Yeah. It's in the 40-50 range. Yeah.
Well, I just hope Deshaun comes back and has a decent season, only because, the black quarterback position, man, it just represents us so greatly in other people's eyes, right? And I'm not sure this generation understands the brevity of that. Like Jalen Hurts, you would wish that everybody would conduct themselves in that manner, right? I don't know what the brother did. I don't know if he was guilty. I heard a bunch of stuff or whatever. So it's just not a good look. And then what he said in the press conference, man. It's just not a good look.
Hey, listen. I'm gonna leave it alone. What he did or what he may not have done, I'm gonna leave it alone. I will say this though: I think the worst thing that can happen for Cleveland this year is that Deshaun Watson goes out and plays a little bit above average and wins game.
Oh, he's gonna do that.
I think it'll do 2 things. It will stunt the growth for Shedeur Sanders because now you have a reason to keep him in because he's winning. And 2, when it comes to that next year, you got another decision to make. Because this might be Deshaun last season. What if he sucks? Do we still put our hand in the cookie jar and go draft the Arch Manning? Or they say it's supposed to be a heavy quarterback draft next year.
Yep.
Do we do this again? And
they got 2 picks, Leon. They got 2 first-round picks.
You see what I'm saying? So I think the worst thing that can happen as he comes out and he plays well the first 3 or 4 games. I would want him to come out, be, like I said, terrible, and then you got to put Shedeur in.
And I think for this being a new coach, no disrespect, I think this is out of his hands. He's not going to be able to make this decision. It's the owners because they're the owners are the ones that take care of Deshaun's money. And I think if it was really left up to the coach, especially after the press conference that Deshaun gave, that was every out the coach needed, not to be like, you know what, I'm moving on. But like less than 12 hours later, he's like, nah, he's our starting quarterback. And you know where that came from. It's like, no.
That's a good point, Scoop.
We're sitting on $81 million or whatever. No, we're not going to throw this away. And we got to take a cap hit because of this. So we're going to roll the ball. And the owner may tell him, he may be like, look, we lost 2 games. I'm making the switch. The owner's like, I'm getting 4. The owner's going to make a decision how long he stays on the field.
Right.
Then after that, the owner may say, all right, I'm willing to take this cap hit as opposed to taking this total cap hit right now. Because if I let go of him now, that's a lot of money. And if I can split that in half and get rid of him and like take a $40 million cap hit, deal with Shedeur next year and still get a first-round quarterback on it, maybe they're looking at it as that's their best bet. But I think that the decisions being made, how long he stays on the field, comes from way above the coach.
Do you think, Scoop and Steve, in the next, I don't know when they do the next collective bargain agreement where the players meet with the owners.
For the NFL?
Yeah, in the NFL.
I don't know the date, right?
Do you think the NFL owners will try to put provisions in for these guaranteed contracts for stuff like that can happen where they can kind of shimmy out of it a little bit without having to give up so much? Do you think that'll be a thing, or it's like, hey, when you give a guaranteed contract, that don't get a guaranteed contract then?
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be able to shift that at all.
Yeah.
They can't legislate themselves from being stupid. And that's what they try to do.
Yep.
Sports
But wasn't
owners.
Cleveland stupid right then for that? Because Deshaun was balling in Houston.
But he came with baggage, Leon.
He did.
He came
Booty
with baggage.
baggage.
He came with baggage.
Booty
he came with
baggage.
baggage. He came with baggage. And to Steve's point,
He had ass in bags, boy.
right?
Yes,
To
sir.
Steve's point, I don't think the Players Association is going to allow the NFL, even in the owners, to try to pass something when they can skate out of guaranteed contracts.
That's
The
right.
Players Association will fight back. You want to see a non-NFL season, players will strike
Yeah.
before they allow that to happen.
So
Yeah.
it'll come down to it's going to be tougher for players to get guaranteed contracts.
No doubt about
If they go look at what happened in Cleveland, hey man, we ain't doing that. I give you this, I give you that, but I'm not giving you fully guaranteed.
Sure.
All right, man. On to the next one. NBA veterans chasing rings, the MVP versus ring debate. Now, we touched on this last week about some stuff Kevin Durant said. Well, Tracy McGrady doubled down on it on his podcast with his cousin, Vince Carter. He says ring culture is terrible. It's overrated. I'd rather have the MVP than the rings. I call Cap on T-Mac, and I love him, one of my favorite players, but I call Cap on him. Who knows what he could have been minus, barring the injuries, right? But I call Cap on him because, one, you couldn't get an MVP because you never really, your injuries and stuff, even though you had a great 3 or 4 year run in your career. And two, you wasn't so dope in the playoffs, bro. You never really advanced in the playoffs. So for you speaking on that, I guarantee you would love to have a championship. I think he says that to kind of like how you said, like Kevin Durant, now that he has both, you can't take that coming from him. Like, I don't want to hear that coming from you, T-Mac, because you didn't do well in the playoffs and injuries kept you from probably snagging 2 or 3 MVPs.
Yeah, what did Vince say?
Vince just said, he kind of said, I'd take a ring without saying, I guess he didn't want to put his cousin on blast. He's like, yeah, I don't know about that, cuz. You know what I'm saying? I said, and I get it. He said, Tracy McGrady's argument was nobody knows who the 11th, 12th man is on the Chicago Bulls or the Los Angeles Lakers or the Detroit Pistons or the Boston Celtics. But I was like, you also can't tell me who was MVP 5 years ago. That doesn't just pop fresh into your mind. I do know Steve Kerr was on the Chicago Bulls and he got a ring. I do know the guy who used to babysit Dennis Rodman, Jack Haley or whatever the fuck his name is. He got a ring. Robert Horry got a ring. Like, there's a lot of people I can name that weren't the stars that I know have rings.
No, I just think, guys, again, we keep talking about this and so many things online are predicated by attention, right? And, Tracy McGrady and these guys are in this podcast game now. And this stuff looks easy, That's what my man Mace and Cameron, like they jumped into the podcast space and really opened people's eyes, I think. And so when you see comments like this, I just take it with a grain of salt because like you, Leon, Tracy McGrady, he was one of my favorite players. He was cold-blooded. Anthony Hardaway, those bigger guard type guys, like I love their games. And so it's unfortunate to see them say things like this because I do think it's not purely motivated. I think it's motivated behind, attention.
Getting attention.
Yeah.
My thing is that I think he was a good person to make the comment because once again, he doesn't have either. The reason I asked about Vince, because I would be interested to see what Vince says. And I think there are certain people that really do feel that way. And I think Vince probably feels another way. And it would have been interesting for them to have that conversation. When you're in the podcast space, Vince like, nah, I don't say Vince got to call Cap on it, but like, no. No, because Vince doesn't have an MVP or a championship either. So it'd be interesting to see two dudes who are arguing or have different positions on what this means to them. And now you're getting their personal feelings because Tracy could literally feel that way and Vince could literally feel that way. I think it's a missed opportunity to have this conversation because first, I said earlier, Kevin Durant was the wrong person to ask this. But to me, now you got two people that have neither. You missed a thing of having a conversation. Because what's interesting to me, I wonder how our conversation would have been had Vince agreed with Tracy. And neither one of them having championships or MVP, if both of them said, no, I agree with you. I feel an MVP is more important. I wonder how different our conversation would have been had both of them said that.
So the reason why I'll go back to I would love to talk to them. Reason why I go back to that rings matter more somewhat than MVPs, in my opinion. I've literally heard barbershop debates about Robert Horry and Steve Kerr being compared to some of the greats because of the number of rings that they have.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, you're not doing that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Robert Horry cannot be in a conversation without 7 rings.
Right.
And it's not like, you know, like you said, when Charles Barkley always talks about being the bus driver and riding on the bus, but you've got people that rode on the bus that are etched in NBA history because of big shots that they made. Big shot Bob Horry, Steve Kerr, Paxson with his, you know what I'm saying, to win championships. So at the end of the day, we're not talking about them if they don't win rings. But there are some MVPs that, like I said, one person won MVP 2 years in a row, back to back. We don't sit up here and just casually throw his name out when we're talking about the greats.
I know, but us talking about it, and I think once again, it's a team sport, but your career is based on for a large part what you individually did. And there are more people. Let's put it this way. If you're looking at your legacy to a certain degree is not really based on what people say. It's kind of like accolade driven, and there are more people with MVPs that have a chance to get into the Hall of Fame than just being a part of a team. So if I don't know if there's anybody. I have to go look. I don't want to say something wrong,
right?
But I think there may be like less than 5 people in the history of the NBA that have gotten an MVP that are not in the Hall of Fame. Like, it's almost a guarantee if you get it, you're going to get into the Hall of Fame. Right. I get it's a team sport, but this is you came in alone. You're going to have so many different teammates and so many different, teams, all this and the other. Your legacy is still yours. This is what you can own. And what I'm saying is that it's a selfish way to think about it. Even, not that you play that way when you play, you don't play selfishly, but at the end of it, it's your career. So if you got a chance to get an MVP that strengthens your chance of being immortalized in the Hall of Fame, a lot of people will take that. That's all I'm saying. And you have a greater chance of getting in by winning an MVP than you do being a part of a championship.
And you're right on that, man. I'm going to piggyback on that, Scoop. Right. Every eligible player who has won the regular season NBA Most Valuable Player Award is in the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame. The only retired outlier is Derrick Rose, the youngest MVP in history, who is retired but is not yet eligible to be admitted. But I'm pretty sure as soon as he is, he's first ballot.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So that's kind of where I look at it. I know that award kind of validates what can happen to the end of your career, and that's your legacy. I get winning rings, but there are a lot of cats that win rings, and that's great. But for you individually, how you're going to be looked, it's not about what we talk about, what we remember. Your legacy could be attached. Like, look, y'all might have forgotten me, but guess what? I'm in the Hall of Fame.
I think the only exception to that rule might be depending on what team you won the championship with.
Maybe.
No, because look, that
I'm agreeing with you.
The Bulls that went 72 and 10, that whole team gets inducted into the Hall of Fame. Now, not only do you have rings, I'm in the Hall of Fame as well too. But I mean, it doesn't carry the same as being going in individually. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I want to touch while we stand. Let's stay on the NBA real quick because I want to talk about this. You notice the one-on-one leagues that you've been seeing online where the guys play one-on-one, and they actually have leagues for this now.
No, I haven't peeped it yet, but go ahead.
The guys do one-on-one. There's some pretty intense leagues, and some of the guys in the league very good. Like there's this one guy named Nas.
I know you're going.
Big Guard University. He called out. He was like, yo, I'll bust some, NBA players' ass with whop the bam. So Patrick Beverly was like, from Chicago, he's like, dog, how you gonna bust NBA players' ass and you ain't in the NBA? I don't want to hear that shit. He said, we built different. Nas was like, no, y'all ain't. Big three come up. Patrick Beverly, who's not considered this offensive threat,
Molly-whopped him.
beat the dog shit out, my man.
Molly-whopped him.
And then you go to this streamer challenged Delonte West. Delonte West took no dribbles, shot all jumpers, beat him 11-0. It's kind of like the internet culture really have a lot of these guys believing that they could play against the last pro sitting on the bench. Like, dog, that's a problem. He's in the league for a reason. He's playing against professional competition every day. I get it. Man, look, we all know a guy that could come into the gym and on an off day, catch somebody slipping, give him 25, 30. But what did the guy he was guarding have? Like, they never tell those stories when they talk about the programs. It was like, man, Shorty came in off the street, dropped 25. Yeah, but the motherfucker he was guarding had 42 at the half.
Exactly.
He said at the half.
Like, I heard Bobby Simmons say this one day. He said, put me in. I want to work on my jumper. And he literally came in and just shot all jumpers from the elbow, the corner, whatever, was giving them people work. Not putting the ball on the floor, nothing, catching it and shooting. I said, now imagine if he locked in and said, I'm going to play y'all like I play cats in the league. It wouldn't even be fun. So just a message to the hoopers out there, the internet hoopers. Stop it with the madness, man. Leave them motherfuckers alone. They get paid to do this shit. Okay, great. You went overseas. You did, but that's different level of competition, man. And the guys that's sitting on the bench. I'm talking about Patrick Beverly. Like, Patrick Beverly is not known for scoring. He was in high school, but in the pros, he was known. He made his mark with defense. And the guy Nas that he was playing, Scoop, big dude, big guard.
Got locked up though.
Got locked up.
Locked him up.
Steve, can I ask you a question? Because you're the one that's on that level. Can you explain to me why players that have NBA experience even acknowledge shit like that?
So you're saying from Pat Bev's perspective?
Why do you feel you have to prove, like, come on, man?
Because he's in the podcast space. He's in the podcast space now too.
But my thing is, I'm asking Steve, why does that even bother? I get the podcast, but it's just about attention for Pat Bev? Okay.
That's all we're talking about, guys.
Got a podcast, does he?
Say it again.
Does Delonte? Yeah.
No, they just thought it would be fun to see if we could get the guy who's been strung out on dope and I could beat him.
Yeah, I know, but I'm like, I just don't know what a former player at that level, why you even acknowledge that. It's like, yo, stop. I'm
Would you do the same about a person that wanted to debate you that wasn't necessarily a journalist? And would you
I would, because I'm not a debater, but I hear what you're saying. I see the point.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
my thing.
You need to just
no. If I'm retired, like if I'm retired, I did my thing. I knew what my legacy is. Just some random. No, I'm not gonna honor you like that. No, not at all. And I'm asking Steve. But no, Steve, you said Patrick Beverly did it because he has a podcast, but Delonte doesn't. So can you explain to me, even when you're not looking for attention, why do you honor that? Why do they honor that?
Well, you're looking at two people that can be considered slightly off upstairs, right? You're not talking about like
fair talk,
Kendall Gill,
fair answer.
Right, Eddie Johnson.
My apologies. My apologies.
Well, I'm gonna keep hey, listen. But I also say this though, Scoop. I think it's the competitive nature. Because me as a comedian, sometimes what I can't stand when I go to an open mic night and a guy who he funny as shit at the barbershop. So he invite the whole barbershop out to the show. There's 20 of them in there, and he goes up there and does 8 minutes of material. All his barbershop homies laughing, but nobody else. And he comes off stage like he fucking ripped it. And I'm looking at him like, yo, that wasn't shit. These your homies. I said, let's go play on a neutral court or on a away court. Let's see how you do when your guys ain't here. Like that, I think that's sometimes just the competitor. Or I'll go up on stage behind him after that. Not only make your homies laugh, but everybody else. And then come off stage and look at you like, this is what we do. Don't just walk up in here and think you could do what we do. And I think sometimes the athletes take a little offense to that. I think Pat Mader did it for his
There's no doubt about it.
But
Yep.
also, I think as a player, he like, dog, you're not finna sit up here and discredit how I had to struggle to even get to the league, what I went through. And you guys pulling up for this one-on-one shit, thinking y'all tough. I'll show you. I'll come down there and take all that money.
And he did.
And he did.
He wore him out.
Shout out to Alan Ford Jr. He says these guys are putting up 100,000 for these one-on-ones. Yeah, but that's the podcast money. It's different if you putting up that check that you got that you don't know if you're gonna get another one. Yeah, you doing well on the podcast. These guys are making $50,000 to $60,000 a month, podcasting and streaming and monetizing their content. So yeah,
maybe I'm too close because I look at it this way, man. In the history of this game, and you both know this, there's been 6,000 maybe players to ever make it to the NBA. Maybe like Steve said, 5, whatever. It's a small number of people on this planet who have ever played the NBA. Motherfucker, I don't care, but you know what I'm saying? There's nothing you can tell.
The audacity, right?
Right, like, come on. I'm one of 6,000 people in the history of the world to make this.
Stop playing with me. But that's why you a target, because they feel like if I could just scoop, I'm legitimate. If I be scooping a one-on-one, I don't care if he's 65 and I'm 32.
I get it.
If I mic up and beat him, I'm the man.
I know, and that's fine for you, but I'm talking about me.
Yeah.
I don't give a damn. I'm talking about me. I don't have to do anything. It's like one of the players told me who was one of the NBA 75. They were like, you can't tell me anything. I'm one of the 75 greatest players to ever play. They cannot take that away from me.
Right.
I don't care who's number 1, who's 75. I'm one of the most special group in the history of this game.
Right.
That's it. I don't have to brag. I don't have to say anything. I don't care who's better. I don't care about any of that. And that's all I'm saying. When you won a 6,000 ever.
But I guess with the 75, that's a little different. Them cats are older, whatever. I'm talking about a guy like Patrick Beverly is still technically, he's not as old as the guys in the top 75. Or you get the young guy, say like somebody like Russ. Somebody was to call out Russell. Like Ice Cube said he was going to try to get Russell Westbrook to join the Big Three. I don't think Russell do it because Russell be like, I will kill everybody over there right now.
Right.
Maybe my legs ain't built for the NBA game no more, but I will murder that league. I will have 50 in 3-on-3 games. And there's nothing anybody can do with me.
Easily.
But I also feel like Russell Westbrook is the type, if somebody got to chirping, he would come off the porch to beat their ass. But
here's the thing. Those guys.
It's kind of like Drake and Kendrick Lamar. Drake kept chirping, and the boogeyman said, I will come off this porch. And he came off the porch.
My thing is that those are at least some former players who used to play in, come on, man. That's what I'm talking about. At least, like if Katino Mobley decided to come at an ISO Joe, come at Russ, all right, y'all used to be, y'all know better. All right, cool. Right. You're one of the 6,000.
Right.
I'll come off the porch for one of the 6,000.
Right.
Come on, now. That's all I'm saying. This is so rare. Why am I even acknowledging that? But I get what you all are saying. Yeah. I'm just asking a question. I'm trying to get an answer. I just know that
Joe got 2 million followers, and he chirping at Allen Iverson. Man, I'll cook Allen Iverson. The way Allen Iverson crossed my, I got 2 million followers, and I got 150,000 right now. Come see me, AI.
Right. And I'm like, and when I was making the 75 reference, the 75 reference was about not just random dudes. This is about anybody who ever played the game.
Yeah.
It wasn't about, it was about anybody who ever played this game that ain't in the 75. They can't say shit to me.
That hit different. That dude hit different.
It hit different.
That hit real different.
It hit
I'm
different.
talking about motherfuckers who win the league. I ain't even concerned about anybody outside of this brotherhood. I'm talking about everybody that play 82 games ever in their life.
Exactly. Look, and I'm going to tell you real funny real quick. Elgin Baylor's wife got on a plane with his 75 jacket. George Gervin happened to be on the same plane flying back after that event. George Gervin like, who the hell, what woman got on the 75? He almost got mad like, no, ain't nobody supposed to have these. Who got this jacket? And he wrote, oh, it's Elgin's wife. You know what I'm saying? So it's good.
Also, they were almost on some
won't
like,
even let people. They like, look, if you ain't part of this, you can't even get the jacket. You don't get the bag. You don't get the. You can't touch this.
You gotta take that jacket off, man.
Right.
Take that jacket off. I'm George Gervin. What? Hey, man, you got to take that jacket off.
Exactly.
That's
You gotta come off that jacket.
Are you an Omega? Would you wear an Omega jacket? Huh? Are you an AK? Would you wear an AKA jacket? You're not, right? Well, you're not one in NBA 75. Take that jacket off.
That's it. That's the mentality.
The only reason I ain't gonna say the other word that rhyme with which, because you Elgin Baylor old lady. I don't want to get back to him. That's my man. But if you wasn't, if you wanted side piece, I'd be like, beware, take that jacket off.
Take jacket off.
Right now. Or I'll finger roll your ass. All right, man. Lightning round. Bad parenting. I don't know if y'all saw this story, but this
Are we talking about Jay York again?
No. This child ran out on the soccer pitch at a game, a Major League Soccer match Saturday night. He escaped sideline seating and wandered directly onto the field of play. It was a second half stoppage time where the Minnesota United FC secured a dominant 5-1 victory over the San Jose Earthquakes. Now, here's my thing. For everybody talking about that shit was cute. Look at the cute baby. That baby need his ass whooped. That's all I'm telling you. There wasn't no that it need to be a black auntie out there. With where's Reginald? He out there. Okay, as soon as they bring your little ass back over here, I got something for you. And we leaving the game. She gonna whoop his ass on live TV, and then they're gonna walk out the game. You done spoiled the game for everybody. And like, how did you let your baby? And that's why they be getting abducted. Watch your kids, white people. You let that baby just run all the way out on the field. As soon as you get hit in the head with a soccer ball or something, or ran over by one of the players, you want to sue the MLS.
Lawyers.
Watch your baby.
Lawyers.
Look at that.
And you all know, I'm gonna let Steve go, but you all know if that had been one of us,
they'd have handcuffed that little baby.
They'd have handcuffed the parents.
Lock him up.
They'd have handcuffed the parents.
Yeah.
But my thing is, a child that small should be tethered to your body.
Exactly.
They should be walking nowhere. Listen, man, and that's why I say, we always talk about cultural differences. So let me tell you something, man. Growing up, all of us knew this. My mama could sit me down in the middle of a grocery store and tell me to stay by the frozen beef patties as I'm finna go in aisle 6, and you better be here when I get back.
That's right.
And if I wasn't, I'd probably be in the freezer with the rest of the meat the next day being served.
Exactly.
And it's just crazy to me. Everybody was like, oh, this is so cute. They were showing it all on TV. This is so cute. No, it's not cute.
No, it's not cute.
Exactly how you get pulled into the white van with candy.
Exactly.
I'm just keeping it real, dog.
But here's the thing. My thing is that nothing's going to happen to the parents. If these were black mothers and this was on camera or something, dude, do you know child services, all that stuff will be coming down on them?
I get it when the random squirrel, the dog get loose, or the cat get loose running on the field. I guess that's an animal. You know what I'm saying? But you brought this child with you, and then look at the lady. Oh, I'm sorry, I was getting a cocktail. I'm sorry, I was getting my martini, and watch your rich ass sitting on the sideline. I would have slid tackled that baby if I was a defensive. They'd have been like, me, I don't play. I'd have slid tackle the baby. I thought it was a striker.
Yeah,
slid tackled the hell out that baby.
Oh my God.
And he had more than one person there with him, supposed to be checking on him. You had the nanny, you had the mama, you had the girlfriend or the husband. They had the whole crew right there.
Get that little baby out of here, man. I don't care about that shit. All right, man.
And the baby knows nothing's gonna happen to him either.
Right.
Wait, I'm gonna go back what Steve said earlier in the show. That wasn't the first time. That ain't the first time the baby did that.
No. And they thought it was cute. They chronicling that shit.
All day.
Exactly.
All day.
When he ran out on the field? Yeah, remember when that black mid-backer named Roger slid tackled his ass?
That's what I'm saying. You know how fast DCFS would be at the doors of the family the minute they got home if they were black?
I would have did like all the soccer players. I'd have stood up. What? A red card for what? On the field. All right, man. We going back lightning round. This is gonna be our last topic of the day. We revisiting the Essence Top 100 R&B songs. Now, Steve, I don't know if you had a chance to go over the list because you was disgusted last week. Steve was get the fuck off my lawn with that list. I know you goddamn lying. They ain't got these last $2 on that list.
I know you.
One time for the jukebox. They ain't got that on that list.
Oh my God. No, I'm good. Go ahead. Let me hear what you got to say.
We revisited the list, man, because you
Well,
said you read some other stuff that gave you a different perspective on how they were judging.
Right. I came on here to apologize for not doing my due diligence and looking at the list as opposed to looking at the whole thing. And I need to be more prepared because one, it wasn't one author that I said last episode that did the list. They had a team of individuals, Essence team, as they quoted in it, that did it. They just gave the author a byline credit for writing the introduction to the list.
Now explain to some of our viewers that may not know in author terms what the byline, what does that mean? Is it like
byline is the author's name. It's attached to the person's name, the writer, whoever wrote this, that's their name. The byline is their name that's attached to the story. Now, in this particular case, the byline is attached to the writer's name is attached to the introduction that's written explaining to you how they came up with the list.
Okay.
See, I thought that without really looking at it, I just looked at the list and then saw one name. I didn't read everything that I should have and come prepared last week as I read that, the author actually just wrote the intro. That's it. It was a team of people there. I'm correct. It says Essence team came together to do this. Now, to my point, I think I made last time about how Rolling Stone went about doing it and naming the people who does this. At ESPN, when we did stuff like this, we explained our methodology of how we came up with this system. Now, Essence did not do that. And to me, when you start doing stuff that is crossing generations, that becomes the greatest ever, not the greatest of a decade, no. When you say the greatest of all times and you're doing something of this magnitude, I think a methodology of how you all concluded and came to this should be explained somewhere in this piece so that, all right, at least you all did something and it wasn't just y'all sitting around having cocktails, drinking at a bar, like, I like this, I like this, I like that. Right.
So y'all, let's go.
Right. Exactly. So now that I really did the due diligence, looked at it, I wanted to at least say that while I'm kind of like Steve on the, like, whatever, in certain parts of this, but I respect it enough to say that there are things on here that are glaring, that are not really explained even in the introduction. And that is, one, they really don't define what R&B is. They kind of hint at it. But if you look at the songs, they all seem to be love songs. And R&B is not strictly love songs. R&B is rhythm and blues music that can be black dance music. It can be, like you said, Clarence Carter, these $2. It's a wide range of what R&B represents.
Let me tell you something. Steve Bardo here, the point guard. Let me tell you something. I'm tell you what's wrong with this goddamn list.
Right.
Got ball of confusion. What's up with it? By the Temptations on here. Ball of Confusion ain't on here.
Right.
Damn this list.
Also, wait, let me say this. There's a paragraph in there where they specifically talk about the voices, that the voices that they chose for these songs matter, right? Like, people sing it. And how can you have a list of black music and you have a paragraph specifying that part of your decision maker came with the voices, and you do not have Aretha Franklin, you do not have Gladys Knight, and you do not have R. Kelly on this list?
Well, I know why they ain't got R on there.
But then fine. That has nothing to do with what he did on record. You know what I'm saying?
Depends on what song.
What record we talking about? Right.
You talking about the 12-play album? No.
Right. And also, guess what? They didn't have not one single white artist on here.
I ain't mad at that. I don't care.
Man, you like...
we could do
we
could do the top 50 Blue Eyes Cold list, but...
Michael McDonald, the average white band.
Bobby Caldwell. But
average white band.
I ain't mad. I'm not mad. I ain't mad.
You saying that one of their songs is one of the 50 greatest R&B songs ever?
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that
you just ain't mad
that they left out. If they left out, I'm not mad at them being left out because we get left out. We
that
get
makes
left
it an
off a lot of their
incomplete
lists.
list.
They don't even want us in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So I ain't mad that they got left off a Essence list. I'm not tripping.
Okay.
Even though, like I said, Bobby Caldwell, I agree. Bobby Caldwell, Tina Marie, loving, her and Rick James. I get it, but I ain't mad that they ain't make the list. I ain't shedding no tears.
I don't know. I'm trying to give credibility to it, and like I said, I just didn't do my due diligence last time. But after looking into it, to me, there's a lot of things in there, but I'm not going to get into that. I just want to correct what I was wrong, but there are some problems, I think, with the list. And if you wanted to bring up, they're legitimate. And my man Steve, get on your lawn, son.
Yeah, Steve Bardo here. Let me tell you something. Willie Hurt, brothers gonna work it out. Ain't on this motherfucker.
But here's the thing. But that's my point, is that type of music is not on there. That type of music is like, no, it's got to. It's almost. It even says it, Leon. It seems like they said a certain type of R&B.
Yeah.
Right, but they don't explicitly say that in the intro. Explain to us what your methodology is and what you're trying to actually execute here.
Give us the criteria
and they didn't do a
so
job
we know.
about that.
Yeah, give us the criteria so we know and we can understand.
And they only gave one artist one song. Like
Michael Jackson should have had more than that.
Leon, you just have a rope in your hand?
No, it's my charger. My charge. I ain't know. That's Bardo shit. Out of all the stuff you could have asked me, did I have? You asked me, did I have a rope?
Hey man,
you was the one that was out of control last week.
I was like, oh, what's that little brother's hand?
Wait, man, let me see what that is, man. Case Jaden Daniel mama slide my deal. You know she from Cape Verde.
Hey. Don't trip. You know I wasn't wrong.
Oh man, let's go do it for us this week, man. We thank y'all for stopping by, for everybody that came by and hung out with us. Don't forget, man, like, subscribe, share on the YouTube channel, man. And we're gonna be back next week with more for Scoop Jackson, point guard Stephen Bardo, your boy the Dusty Legend Leon Rogers. Make sure y'all get up in the morning and hear me on 107.5 WGCI. And this weekend, the Labor Day weekend, I'm gonna be mixing on V103, man, old school hip hop mix. So, brother get to spread his wings a little bit, stand on both sides.
There you go.
Was that you trying to get the troop song into the list? Was that what that was? I saw what you did there. I saw what you did there.
I get to be the old man on the porch like Steve, and then I also get to be the YN outside. We'll see y'all next week, man. Peace.